there's a lot of advice going around, telling you, hey, do this, do that, this rule, that rule when it comes to retirement and trying to, build your net worth and build your nest egg and then also just live through retirement. So what I want to do is really go through all of those things and just a few of them at least that are probably, it's not a one size fits all. We keep trying to tell you that here at Jazz. With our clients, we like to really get personal about financial planning. So let's take a look here, and I'm gonna start right here in Nest Egg to show you really my first point. And one of them is, going 50-50, going super conservative when it comes to retirement. Now, in this specific scenario, it does depend on your specific scenario. I'm just showing you here that, this person, if they're over here, retired Roger, he has a 76% probability of success and, potentially leaving $2 million in inheritance. Now, that's today's dollars. If we actually change that to future dollars, it's $926,000, just to give you an idea there. But he has a 71% probability of success if he goes more conservative. So this is only a 10% shift of equities in this account and bonds. So if he's 60-40 on the right side, it shows him 76%, on the left side, 71%. And so it's decreasing his probability of success in retirement. Now, we also talk about, not being too aggressive. Why do you need to take extra risk with your money? But this common rule of, hey, everybody, you need to go 50-50 or maybe even 40% stocks, 60% bonds in retirement, not always the case. So don't listen to just the general rules and take your advice off of people on YouTube. Instead, really start to think through that. The next one really to talk through is when to do Roth conversions. So many people start talking about Roth conversions and like, well, when should we do them? And, there's all these rules. Well, you should always put all of your money in an IRA and then convert in retirement. Or maybe you should, convert it all as early as possible because when you're 65, you're going to have the Medicare tax. Well, looking here at this plan specifically, this person, if they convert it all early, they're going to have $307,000 less. If they pull this back and they say, hey, you know what? We're going to convert over a period of time, they're going to have $65,000 more. And so again, conversions are great in retirement for most people. I have found that even some people, if you're spending a lot of money in the early years, especially from pre-tax accounts, it may not make sense to do a lot of Roth conversions. So don't go on that rule of thumb with Roth conversions. Another one is really just, the idea of saving more in retirement. Now, some people, have this whole idea of we need to save this much and, to retire comfortably, but you're taking away from how you can live now. We really harp on this because it's really about finding out your number. And so you've got to figure out what your retirement expenses are, know what your retirement expenses will be, and then that will help you to determine how much you can live on. Figure out, how much you've already saved, and then say, okay, I've got this much saved. I need to live on this much in retirement. What will this look like? There's so many people out there that are saying, save 15% of your income. And, Dave Ramsey, I know if you're a follower of Dave and you're watching this, you're saying, well, that's Dave. I'm not bashing Dave on this whole scenario because anybody should save. But I found that, if you're an early saver, maybe you've saved 15% or maybe even more, and maybe you have a great match with your employer plan, it may not make sense to continue to save 15% in your 50s, getting close to retirement. On the other side of that, people who are late starters may have to save 25, 30, 40% of your income to be able to meet your retirement goals. So instead of focusing on a specific number and a specific rule, really know what your number is for your scenario. Another one we need to talk through are taking COBRA at retirement. So when it comes to retirement and healthcare, that's a big one that everybody gets concerned with. Some people think, well, I need to retire at 65 so that I can have Medicare. You can retire earlier than 65. That is okay. You just need to factor in your healthcare costs. There's the Affordable Care Act now that comes into play, and we have started to see that clients are actually spending less sometimes with affordable care than they would on their COBRA plan. So just because, people are out there and saying, well, if you've got a COBRA plan, take it for the next 18 months and let it ride. That's not always the best case for you. You need to know what the options are for you because COBRA can sometimes actually cost you more. And the final one that I want to throw at you here is really Social Security and when to take that. we're showing this scenario right here. Let's get this back level so that we can look at different plans. They're taking this at full retirement age. A lot of people talk about that, and that's not a bad idea. But again, Social Security is going to depend on you and your scenario. I'm going to throw a couple things out there when I talk through this as I'm showing you these things. So early as possible, this is obviously going to, decrease the plan, because in this scenario for this person, they're going to be taking a lesser amount of guaranteed income through Social Security. Now, at the same time, if they take it at 70, it is going to increase their plan because they're going to get a higher payout. Now, this is one plan. This isn't for everybody. Some things that I see that you should start to think through when it comes to Social Security instead of focusing on one age or another is, what is your health? If you're in bad health, break even on Social Security is oftentimes over 80 years old. Well, if you're thinking that you're possibly going to pass away at 78, what's the point of delaying Social Security? Because you're not going to get that break even. Another scenario that you've got to think through is if you were married, one of you is a higher income earner than the other. Maybe it makes sense for the high income earner to wait till full retirement to take their Social Security so that the spouse can get half of that or not get half of that. That's one side of it. But if that person were to pass, the spouse would get the full amount of the higher benefit. And so making sure that you're really thinking through your scenario, not just listening to somebody and saying, hey, let me just take this at full retirement age. So those are some different tips that you can think through. If you're looking for a financial plan and somebody to really help guide you through retirement, that's what we do here at Jazz Wealth with our clients. You can check us out at jazzwealth.com.